Welcome to Contemporary Black Voices, and this is our Hot Topics segment. My name is Dr. Sharon Michael Chadwell, and sitting with me today are Caleb Alexander and Mario Salas. Well, to the Black community, we have survived another week. We have several topics we want to go into today. The first one being about Trump's comments made about Black children, Black young adults. They were troubling in that he was saying basically that our kids are natural born criminals. What were your thoughts about that, Caleb, when you heard that?
Besides anger, that was my first thought was anger, and just the utter ridiculousness of that statement that our kids are born, that there's some kind of criminal gene that's inherited in us or inherited in Black folks. I mean, it's utter ridiculous. So crime is a crime of proximity. It's a crime of poverty. And at the same time, the case can be made by that standard that white kids are born to be serial killers, are born to be mass shooters, are born, white folks are born with a violent gene in them, you know what I mean? So it's utterly ridiculous, and I hope that our kids don't take that to heart. So for a person to have that, to hold that office, we already hold him to a lower standard than we hold any other president in history. Correct. But for a person to hold that office, to make that kind of statement, it shows you how low the office has descended to. And I hope that our kids and I hope that the leaders within our community really address that within the community and have some conversations with the kids. I hope the parents have conversations with the kids and really just call this guy out. Let them know that this guy is a convicted sex offender. He's a criminal. He's an idiot, and to not take to heart anything this guy says. That's my point. Do not take that to heart. Our kids are born to be brilliant and born to shine, and they come from a legacy of folks who have overcome tremendous odds. So that's my thoughts.
Mario?
Well, my take on it is the enemy is at the gate and knocking on the door, because these kinds of comments are just as racism can be. And then we saw a picture of him kissing a Black child. I thought they were born criminals.
Yeah.
And it bothered me. He was kissing that child in the lips. It made me think of Jeffrey Epstein. But it's a horrible thing to say. That's like saying because Epstein is a pedophile and all white people are pedophiles. I mean, no one is born a criminal. No one is born a racist, for that matter. People are made into these things by circumstance, my grandpa telling them lies, whatever the case may be. And so as to propagandize them into hateful kind of thinking. Mm-hmm. So, but that Trump's base, that's the other thing I thought of from just a ideological point of view, his base loves to hear that. Mm-hmm. So he's talking to his choir and letting his choir know, I'm still a racist, don't abandon me, I'm still with you guys, I'm still hate Black folks. So that he has to say these kinds of things to let his base know that he's still part of that racist movement.
So when I heard about it, of course, I was considering or thinking about what can various leaders in various industries, how can they approach this to where they take a stand on something. For one, on my Facebook page, I asked all educators to include counselors and administrators, and particularly that our kids, they heard that. They heard that statement. It was piercing. So there may be periods in the classroom to where our kids may become disengaged or they may act out. That's not a time to push the envelope, if you will, and do hard discipline. Take them out of the classroom if they need to. Take them to somewhere to talk with. And then also for those campuses that do have Black teachers on it, this is a time for us to acknowledge those babies and say, you're all right, you're good, stuff like that. And I'm saying also the white teachers as well, but these are ways to where we can lift our kids to where they know that we have their back.
Yeah, great, yeah.
Exactly. why he would say something like that just points to his ignorance.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure if he's the most ignorant president that ever was. Andrew Jackson might have been more dumber than him, but but he's certainly in a close competition for the number one slot.
Yeah, I at this point I might have to give him the edge over good old Andrew Jackson. Yeah, this guy complete. The audacity. I mean, it's not just the audacity, but just the idea that the president of the United States made the comment. You know what I mean? To criminalizing an entire segment of the population.
Yeah, and why did he just sent the National Guard to Memphis? Am I correct? I just heard that today, or he's sending them to Memphis, and I guess that's to address the little babies in incubators that are criminals. If you catch them in the incubator before they get out.
Wow. He didn't send them to Utah.
He's a madman. Really, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I want. I'm waiting for the National Guard to show up in Utah.
That's right. There's a Mormon church up there. They're having a hard time accepting what happened.
Well.
There you go.
So the next thing that happened is Department of Education, compliments of Trump, suspended over $300 million of grants to HBCUs. And I'm also going to put it here to Hispanic serving institutions.
Yeah, Hispanic serving institutions.
We've got a school here in San Antonio.
Native American.
We've got 2 schools here in San Antonio that fall under that HBCU plus the HSI, Hispanic serving institutions. Right. And so, again, I'm looking at this, right? We have a cadre of Republicans, to include some Black folks, such as Candace Owens.
Who?
Candace Owens.
Oh, I heard of her.
Who do not believe in the benefits of higher education. Okay, and all I know is this: being a professor, I have met some phenomenal students throughout my years of teaching who have gone on to do great things. I have two students who were in elementary school with me that I taught, who have gone on to become a CPA and an attorney. And then of course, a lot of our Black doctors come out of HBCUs. And so to suspend funding is really going to be a challenge for a lot of these schools, especially if they don't have a strong alumni funding system.
Yeah, honestly, I think, Doc, between Howard and Meharry, I mean, well, just to put it like this, I want to say I thought it was like something like 90% of Black doctors come out of HBCUs. I want to say something like almost close to 90% of Black engineers that come out of HBCUs. Yeah, this funding is critical. It absolutely is critical. So they started this process earlier, because I'm aware of several young ladies who actually lost scholarships to universities because they were targeted scholarships, or because they mentioned that they were geared toward African Americans, and so they actually lost the scholarships. Universities aren't even able to accept scholarships that have that kind of terminology. And so no, we've been, but this right here in particular was it was huge, and so you're really trying to defund African American participation on college campuses. You can't. It's just the dichotomy, right? So you have the criminalization of Black people. You're talking about poverty, endemic poverty, the lack of opportunity in Chicago and other areas, but at the same time, you're trying to defund the mechanisms that alleviate that poverty, right? So it's just, okay, you're saying it's a criminal class, but what are you doing to alleviate that? Nothing. You're actually trying to expand that, you know what I mean, or trying to expand poverty, which we know is a straight road toward criminality.
Well, if you think about it, is Robert Kennedy Jr. is already saying that the vaccines were not designed, are our molecule or molecular system is a lot different from whites, and that
Oh,
we're
yeah.
stronger and everything else.
Yeah.
Now, okay, I'm gonna take that as fact.
Who?
Okay.
From Robert?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say fact. Okay? Well,
Can't take nothing as
no, no,
fact.
no, 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 no. Just listen. Ride with me on this one.
Okay, we're gonna ride.
One of the benefits of medical schools on HBCUs is that they are focusing on the medical needs of the Black community. And a lot of the research that's being done is how to improve serums that will help us, when compared to the serums that are already out there. Because we already know, again, last week I was saying, we've already feel some kind of way about going to doctors, okay? We already feel some kind of way. And we already feel some kind of way, although we don't say we're anti-vax, but we have no problems questioning jabs.
Right,
We
right.
think those
No.
jabs, given the Tuskegee experiment, given what they're doing to the African kids, via Bill Gates, we already questioned that. So when I see these Black doctor researchers on HBCUs doing the research to figure out how to improve healthcare services for Black folks, and then this administration suspend funding
Right.
for it, and I don't know how they're going to spread it out, but it's going to impact research. It's appalling. It's appalling. You're going to say something?
Yeah, and that's very good points you make, but what I'm just going to add the ideological point to all of this. They're hoping that by defunding Black institutions, they can eliminate woke. They can eliminate the teaching of Black history. They can eliminate the historical awareness that Black folks have of Black history. And I think they realize they ain't going to be able to get rid of that, because Grandpa in the Black community, Mom and Dad are still going to be teaching Black history, whether they like it or not.
Right.
Black teachers are still going to be teaching Black history, even if they have to change the name of it. So let's just call it American history from now on.
Right.
So
And that's what it is.
yeah. And I think the enemy at the gate already realizes they're not going to be able to stop Black folks from understanding their own history.
Right.
So let's get rid of the funding so that we can address the anti-woke movement, whatever the heck that means. And by the way, I think we're all still woke on this show. And that's the other end or the other spectrum of that attack. Defund them, maybe that stops some of the DEI stuff, but it actually it's not. It's not.
Accelerates.
It's not. We're gonna keep doing. We're gonna keep teaching it. I don't care what they do.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it's they keep lying to themselves. Okay, and you cannot separate Black history from American history, because American history is Black history, and so the early history of this country, the foundation, this country's foundation was built on the transatlantic slave trade. This country's wealth, all of its institutions. There's no place you can look in this country's history where you will not find Black folks or Black contribution. So they're lying to themselves by thinking that they can, by defunding this, it's like saying, you know what, I'm going to separate my heart and my lungs from my body. You can't do it. You know, it's just medically you can't do it. You know, and they keep lying to themselves by thinking that they can.
Oh, and all those buildings behind our head, there's not a single thing that you can't think of that Black people didn't have something to do with. Whether the construction of the building, inventions for the automobile,
insurance company.
Yeah, insurance company.
Yeah.
There's not a single thing in America. Very good point, Caleb. That you could divorce from Black people having a big input into that.
Yeah, the entire capital.
Everything you see is Black related.
Are they gonna move out of Washington D.C.? You know,
Move out of the White House too.
the White House,
Slaves built that.
the entire cleared the swamp for the entire city of Washington D.C. You know, did the layout.
Donald Trump is woke too. by living in a building built by Black slaves.
Absolutely.
So he's not racist enough for some right wingers.
All right, so we're going to extend this a little bit more, and then of course HBCUs had to go on lockdown and suspend some classes because of bomb threats, because
Mm-hmm.
of the assassination of Charlie Kirk,
Charlie Kirk, right.
and they immediately blamed Black folks
Right.
and started doing bomb threats at
At HBCU,
HBCUs
yeah.
on the East Coast.
That's ridiculous.
On the East Coast, and so those kids had to face that. And you're just shaking your head. Is that why blame everything on us?
Well, that's what
We
Charlie
don't-
Kirk did.
You know, we are basically minding our own business.
Right.
You know, we're not bothering anybody. We're not even really going out in the streets protesting as heavy as they want us
Right.
to. Yet anything goes wrong in this country, they automatically use us as a scapegoat.
And of
Yeah.
course, it's because, like they do in the third world, because that's all they see.
Yeah.
If you get my drift,
Yeah.
that's all they see.
Yep.
So that color becomes the enemy in their mind. In the mind of a white supremacist, that's all they
That's
see.
all I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Utah is probably one of the whitest states in the union. You tell me you went and saw a black person on a rooftop in Utah? No, it's ridiculous for them to even make that assumption. They do from the start. You know what I mean? Who did this? In order to even be at that rally, to show up at that rally, to blend into that rally, to be able to have a rifle at that rally.
Because if that person had been black,
Oh yeah, they'd
they
have picked
would
him
have
out.
found it quick.
Absolutely in Utah. So, but they again, it's scapegoating, and this, we're gonna blame, like what Charlie Kirk did. We're gonna blame black folks for every problem, every ill, everything that's going on wrong in this country. So they lost their little young hero, future messiah, whatever it is, and they immediately wanted to take it out on black folks, and that's historically been the reaction.
Or the Democrats.
Or the
Or
Democrats.
the left wing.
Or the, yeah.
When the killer of
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk
Yeah.
was a racist conservative himself.
Right.
So now we got Nazis killing each other.
Right. And you know what? And that's the thing. So they've kind of disappeared from social media. Because now that they realize that it's one of their own. Guy who dressed up like Trump for Halloween. This is son of a sheriff. Who he was a hunter and
Trump
more,
supporters.
yeah, and Trump
His
supporters.
whole family. Trump
Right wing, yeah, far right. So these guys they're in culture shock. They are in complete, because now it's easy to look out and say, you know what, that's the enemy, right? Or the boogeyman is there, and I'm going to sit here with my rifle and I'm going to watch out for. But now, guess what? The call is coming from inside the damn house. That's the scariest movies are when the call is coming from inside the house. And so these people are freaking out because the call is coming from inside the house. And now they're looking at each other saying, what? Am I too right wing or am I not right wing enough? And they don't know which is which.
And what I mentioned earlier off camera, during the Second World War, Nazis killed each other.
Oh yeah.
In 1934, during the night of Long Knife, I think of that particular time.
Oh yeah.
The Nazis who wouldn't do this to Hitler, they were considered to be traitors. And so they started killing each other so as to solidify their ranks.
Oh yeah.
And so I expect to see more of these people killing each other, because that's they're about hate, and they ain't going to be able to get away from that.
Yeah. And that's a good point. The SS killed the SA. You know what I mean? So you had Himmler killing Ernest Röhm, and so that's a good. It's a really good. The black shirts killing the brown shirts, basically. So it's a purity test, and they need to again, like I say, the calls coming from inside the house. Are we not right wing enough, or are we too right wing? And
Nazi or your swastika wasn't big enough.
yeah. So yeah, that's a great point, a very interesting point. So and I've always said this. So we're gonna see We got to see the Confederates killing the Nazis, killing the what is the ones from Vermont, they live free or die or whatever, the one with the snake and the curls. Yeah, are they all gonna
Don't tread on me.
the don't tread on me, killing the militiamen, killing the Confederates, killing
The skinheads.
the
hate
skinheads and
Confederates,
yeah.
Confederates hate the skinheads.
It's interesting.
Mhm.
We're in some interesting times. In fact, I was talking to this gentleman yesterday. He was Jewish, and I was saying, I said, well, I don't know if I'm gonna ever become a grandmother because my son, told me, Mama, I'm not gonna bring no child in this world right now. So he gave me a whole different perspective that I didn't consider because his great grandparents were survivors of one of those camps in Germany. He says it was bad then, and we survived and we produced kids. It's bad now, but that's not a reason for us to stop having kids. So I'll have to talk to my son, please. I want to spoil somebody else. So this next topic. So, and it all aligns with the overall theme that we're looking at today. But we have a person who did not complete community college, making statements, really attacking Black women who were very accomplished. Michelle Obama, Ketanji Brown, other women, and saying that these women were DEI hires. Now, Sheila Jackson did go on, made a statement, on the House saying that how she was able to get in was because of affirmative action. And so he hung his hat on that, saying, see, she even admit she's affirmative action, taking it out of context. It was because of affirmative action, more Black folks were able to get into various organizations because of the laws. Not because we weren't capable, but because the law says you cannot discriminate, excuse me. So this has been an interesting statement to where how many people really do feel that Black women who have accomplished a lot are deserving of those accomplishments.
So, the most educated demographic in this country, right? And which they hate that statistic, and so they consistently target Black women. And so the guy we're talking about is Charlie Kirk, right? Who barely made it out of high school, who dropped out after a semester or less than a semester, dropped out in community college, who is telling Black women, Ketanji Brown, who graduated magna cum laude from Harvard, Michelle Obama, who graduated from Princeton and Harvard, right? And Joy Reid, who also graduated from Harvard, saying that these women are DEI hires, right? And so that is laughable, right? This guy couldn't last a semester in community college talking about these women who graduated at the top of their classes from Harvard University are DEI hires, right? That's the audacity of whiteness.
And then he had the nerve to say Martin Luther King was an awful person, that George Floyd was a scumbag. George Floyd had kids too. A father too. But you don't get to be a father because he's, quote, a scumbag, according to Charlie Kirk. So to build up Charlie Kirk to hero status is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard.
Absolutely.
Nobody would celebrate somebody getting shot like he did. But understand, his hatred brought on that. January 6th riot brought that on. So we can go on, look at all of the things that Trump's rhetoric has brought to the table. Violent rhetoric by Trump creates the Charlie Kirks.
Absolutely.
And created the other guy, as far as that's concerned.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Brought him out more.
So you can't go back and clean Charlie Kirk up. His statements are now etched in history for all eternity, and he said what he said. And he's never going to have a chance to walk those back. He's never going to have a chance to revise those statements. What he said, and that's on his stone.
Because another Trumper killed him. One Trumper killed another Trumper.
So that you can't redeem Charlie Kirk. And the thing about that is, like I say, it's just this attack on people, black excellence. And my other quick point on that is that diversity opens the applicant pool, right? And I've said this a billion times. Diversity is not saying we're going to go out there and hire less qualified people. Diversity programs are saying, hey, look, we're going to open this up for a wider applicant pool to see if we can cast a wider net for people who are equally or even better qualified than our narrow applicant pool.
Mm-hmm.
So widening that applicant pool may have gave the women the opportunity for their excellence to be noticed, right? Which resulted in them being offered an admission into these prestigious universities. But make no doubt about it, it was black excellence that kept them there, right?
Had to work hard.
They had to work hard.
Yeah, harder than everybody.
Yeah, work hard. It's black excellence. Diversity is not saying we're going to make you magna cum laude. That is black excellence that made you the top of your class. That is black excellence that made you magna cum laude. So whatever reason or excuse or whatever you want to blame it on, whatever, diversity widened the applicant pool, but then women put in the work, and that was nothing but pure black excellence. So I want to make that point.
Because I remember I was working on my dissertation. One of the professors called me, and this is before AI, okay? And one of the professors called me.
Mm-hmm.
He said, Sharon, I need to tell you something. I ran your paper through a plagiarism reader.
Mm-hmm.
And I was amazed that there was no, it was a low count, like almost like 2%.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I really thought that you were plagiarizing because you write really well.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I'm a white professor,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to tell you now, because of how well you write, you're going to have to be prepared along, as you move into the program, deeper into the program, as you run into these different professors, that you might scare them because of how well you write. And that always stood in the back of my mind because I was just writing. I was just doing the work. I was doing the research. I was studying the APA manual. I was studying,
Right.
all the different stuff. I thought everybody was doing that.
Right.
But it turns out that was not the case. And he took it upon himself to say, you're really working hard at this.
Well, you're a better person than me because he got cussed out. Like,
No. He was really calling to really compliment me, but he was giving me a heads
But
up.
his initial suspicion, it was like, I really thought you were using it. No, you're a better person than me. 'Cause he got cussed out right there. We wouldn't even finish that conversation. You know what I mean? But you're a better person than I am.
Well, and I'm sure somebody that might see your show today might make that false claim that we're all DEI recipients. So they do.
Right.
They love to lie.
Oh yeah.
They're professional. I didn't know
Oh,
you
yeah.
could be a professional liar. Like these Trump people are. Is there a class somewhere? Professional lying
Right.
101? Well, they're good at it. They're really.
Oh
good.
yeah. You know what? They love it. This is the problem is, right? Their people keep lying to them, right? Their politicians keep lying to them. They keep telling them that we're gonna make America great again. We're gonna bring back jobs that are never coming back. The coal industry is never gonna hire 3-4 million people. The automotive industry is never gonna hire
Like they used to.
400,000 people. Those jobs are gone.
Speaking
They're
about lost jobs,
Yeah.
when a certain president, well, it wasn't a president, it was a white woman
Mm-hmm.
down in Savannah, Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
who claimed that Hyundai and LG had illegal immigrants, and ICE went in and arrested 350 folks, and because of that arrest, South Korea took the folks back, and that plant might have lost 8,500
Yeah.
American jobs.
Yeah. And Hyundai canceled another plant that they were going to build in the U.S.
We're running out of time. I hear. That's what somebody told me.
Well, okay.
The man behind the curtain.
Well,
Last
Okay.
but not least, what we got?
Do we have a couple more minutes to just talk about this next one, Carl? Okay. So I don't know if you watch TikTok, Instagram, Facebook as closely as I do. I know that you do, Caleb, but we're seeing a lot of Black folks attacking one another because of what happened to Charlie Kirk. And I'm trying to figure, what in the world?
Yep.
So,
They're working with Christian nationalism, some of them,
mhm.
where, and I don't call them Christians, they're fake Christians. So fake Christian nationalists, fake Christian, real nationalists, you can put the two together, fake and real, have propagandized some Black people. And especially in these conservative evangelical churches where Christian nationalism is the call to action. And so you're going to always get some people, no matter what color they are, as far as that goes, who are going to fall into the trap of believing the propaganda.
So I was just amazed at what I was seeing, what I was hearing.
Right.
You know, and we got to do better. You know, we can have differences of opinions, but we shouldn't be attacking one another either.
Right. Man,
So
I think my quick point is this, man. If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. If the man is his own statements, right? If the man is telling you out of his own statements, he's providing racist, misogynist, homophobic statements, and you still are riding with him, you're the problem. You're the one that Harriet would have left behind. You know what I mean? And so when these people, my thing is this, last point, when these people remind you of who you are, that you're not one of us, like the organization that keeps saying they don't want Candace belonging to what we can talk about. When they remind you of who you are and that you are really not one of them, stay over there. Don't come back to us.
Well, like that famous quote, your skin folk ain't always your kinfolk.
There you go.
well, we've had a lot to say today, and as always, we hope you put in some comments. We do read your comments. I do want to give a shout out to a young lady that I met last weekend, and she recognized me. And I'm sorry, I forgot her name, but she knows who she is if she's listening. And so it's great to have been recognized. So anyway, we want to thank Carl Booker, who is our producer. And with that being said, this is Contemporary Black Voices, where we tell our stories our way.